Just kind of like picking and choosing, figuring out what kind of tools that I want to bring over to the new shop area. Obviously, turning the camera around. This is just, how do I say this? This is kind of like the, this is that shop area that I can just work on, hopefully, quickly just work on an RC and just kind of have, I guess, a different kind of sit-down kind of area here. So you can see I got Joe Daddy's Garage live right there, watching his show, while I'm going to be fixing the MAXX. On this episode of RC Guy Garage, the basics, this is a Traxxas MAXX. This is my wife's truck. Took it out, and it was pretty cold out. I think it was around, had to have been around in the 30s or something like that. And then obviously with plastics being, you know, more brittle during, you know, the colder temperatures, one of the issues that I came across was, if you saw the footage, in which I'll leave a link right there in that corner that will point you to that video, and there's one jump where I slow it down, and I did kind of like several hits, slow-moed it, and I even zoomed in, and I think what it did is it showed, at least audibly showed, or sounded, whatever. You know what I'm getting at. There was a visual representation and there was audio that basically showed where I think the crack or where the damage first started. And then obviously in that same video, towards, like, you know, obviously when I kind of ended the video was when I came across and I did like a, not a power slide, but because I was on icy snow, kind of went into a slide and I slammed into that, piece of, what's your problem? I slammed into that, whatever it's called, the drawer that was on the ground. So anyways, if you want to see what it takes to repair this very simple, like, easy fix, it's literally just swapping in an axle shaft. So, and it is on the left rear. Not that it matters, because all four corners are effectively similar to doing this replacement. So yeah, so if, you want to watch, this is RC Guy Garage, the basics, Traxxas MAXX. Alright, so, Traxxas MAXX, broken rear axle, from slamming into a, well, actually, it was from a jump, and it was also from, ultimately hitting that, drawer. It's a wooden drawer that was stuck to the ground. But, this is the part number that you're going to need right here. Traxxas part number 8950, and that is basically it's both the inner and outer axle shaft, and this is the way that I would recommend getting it. I think this is like 14 bucks or 15 bucks or something like that. It could be less, could be more. I doubt it's more. I think it is around that price, but this is the route that I would go, because it does give you both pieces. And what I wanted to show, which I didn't even grab, if you're hot, Haley, just go somewhere else. You don't have to be over here. Alright, so this was the either left or right side front piece that had broken initially. And what it was the yoke piece that broke. You can actually see it right there. And I kept the part because the rest of the part is actually fine. So yeah. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to pull this apart. We're going to see exactly what's going on. Don't forget that these are clocked. So when you turn them, don't try and force it into a spot where it's not going to actually go in. Clock it to the appropriate position, and then it will slide right in. And I think there's like, if you look at it, there's like a line there and a line there. And I think it coincides with the two lines that are there and there. So, and that's literally all you have to do. So, but I just kept this piece just because I don't know where the other piece is. That's what's funny. But so here's the section of the hub that was left over. It's obviously the axle shaft itself, which it still has the nut attached to it with the hex, the bearing, and amazingly the pin stayed in. Now, not that this is going to matter, because this part's going to replace it anyway.
Wrong, genius, but keep moving forward.
But very easy repair. That's why I call this the basics. I'm going to break down the wheel right here just to show you what was left over for parts. And then obviously we'll break down the hub. We'll pull that section of the axle half off, or axle shaft, and then we'll inspect it and then see like what's going on here. So for this actual nut, looks like it's an 8mm. And this obviously is still running the little adapters. Here's what popped out of the wheel, backside of the wheel. So we have the hex, which is important because that's a splined special Traxxas hex. Now obviously we can slide all these pieces. I'll keep because, you know, who knows, maybe at some point I'll need it for something else. Obviously we're going to need the bearing because it's the Traxxas. Traxxas did use a nice quality sealed bearing on this vehicle, so that works out. So we'll save the bearing. We don't need this, but what we do need is we do need the pin, I believe. Yeah, we need the pin, which is right here. That's funny. It doesn't even come with a pin. Oh, maybe there's a pin in there. I don't know. We'll open this pack and we'll see. That'll be pretty crappy if it doesn't come with a pin. You gotta buy a new, whole new something else just to get the pin. So we gotta, basically gotta pound that off. So, yeah. So I think I should just be able to pound it just like this. Well, maybe not. See, I don't have all my tools over here. Yeah. There we go. So just enough, obviously, to be able to pop that off. I just basically used the 17mm wrench portion of that 4-way glow plug wrench, which just allows you to pop it out. So pull your hex off. Get your pin out if you can. See, on my new area over here, I don't have anything. I don't have everything. Everything. Be right back. Ouch. My dog's just hanging out over here, and she gets hot because she's inside. So, let's get a pair of pliers. Be able to pull that pin right out of there. Because obviously this pin doesn't look like it comes in the kit, which is kind of weird. Alright. What a shame. I think I'm going to have to get like a whole new set of tools for this new area. What a bummer. That was you she just burned. That wasn't me. So, I know I shouldn't have these little parts. These are my parts trays. Probably shouldn't be using these because, yeah, if you've seen my, I think it was Alive, one of these things fell onto a floor and kitchen floor and shattered into a billion pieces. So I was supposed to fix it, but I never did. Anyways, back to it. So to pull this off, all you have to do is basically just pull out this top screw, which is going to allow the hub to swing out. I don't believe I'm going to have to take out the bottom one, but. And I believe that's like a 2. Or maybe something else, 2.5. For way too long. For way too long. Fever inside the storm. So, flip up the arm, spring should hold it in place, and then basically just kind of swing this out. What I did want to do is I was hoping to get a look at Actually, I do have to take out the bottom one. Because obviously it's not going to swing out enough. But I did want to get a look at... See, mine are straight. My splines are straight on this. Or should I say the splines on my wife's MAXX are straight. So I'm going to elevate this with the spare tire. There is one more screw on the front here. And it is a coarse thread style screw that's in there. So it comes out pretty quick. Because it's going into plastic. And I will say, okay, so if you haven't seen that video for A Main, what the heck was that?
Well, anyways, for A Main did a great Traxxas thing between Traxxas and ARRMA.
I don't even know what that was. Well, anyways, something showing up on there. I don't know what it is. Some like little illuminated thing now. So we'll pop that one out too. Top and bottom, they are different lengths. Longer one for the bottom, shorter one for the top. And obviously they go in and opposing. And then now we can pop out that axle, slide it all the way out. And I think we should just be able to pop it out. See what happened. So what it did is it tore out right where the pin is. Look at that. If that's why I save all the broken parts. Now, if I was smart about this, it's the inner for the other one that snapped. Because obviously that's not going to work, because that's this way. You know what I'm saying? So that's like that. That's how that ended up breaking. So that piece is actually that piece right there. And obviously all four corners are the same exact thing. But if you look, there's little clips that you can pop out to be able to like change this like piece out. So, but this is the piece that we need. I do want to check this bearing, because it looks like this bearing is a shielded bearing. Isn't that funny? Trying to do is I'm trying to push out that bearing. Just because I wanted to get a look at it, and I'll check that out. Now, I thought that that was a shielded. It is. It's either... Bearing still feels good. Isn't that funny? Oh, it's weird. It's almost as if... It's like it's a single, sealed, half shielded. That is messed up. Alright. So if you look at this side, this is the side that was obviously facing the inside of the truck. This is the side that was inside the hub. And the inside of the hub side is literally a shielded bearing. So Traxxas saves like a penny? So I guess Traxxas saves a penny. Because, unless that fell out, but if it fell out, it would be stuck in there. And there's nothing in there. Alright, well, I don't know what's going on here. Face the path of time, and yet I fight, and yet I fight this battle all alone. All right, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to reinstall this bearing, right? And then while it's sitting in there, I'm going to take a drop of oil, like I usually do, and I'm going to put a drop of oil in there because seeing that that is a shielded side of the bearing, eventually the oil will actually get in there and seal and lubricate the inside of that. Now, I got to check that other bearing. All right, so the other bearing, yep, the other bearing was sealed on both sides. Boy, that's funky, man. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab just some lightweight shock oil. That's what I use. I use a 25 because that's an oil that I don't use much of except as like an assembly lube. I'm actually liking this little area over here. And see, what you don't know is I've got Alice in Chains playing. I love it. It's I'm actually listening to Alice in Chains Nutshell, the unplugged MTV version. Which, if you haven't heard that song, man, I definitely recommend giving a listen to that song, man. Pretty sad. Well, awesome song, sad situation. All right. So, all right. So we're good there. Like I said, drop of oil on the inside of there. That's just what I'm deciding to do. Break open this pack here. So we'll see exactly what's inside of here. So inside this pack, you do have the threaded pin for the inside shaft, which obviously is going to connect to the differential. And then no pin, so they don't give you a pin with a new one. So the only thing you have to do is just make sure that it's clocked the same way. When you install it, it's very easy because it's just going to literally slide on or not. And the only thing I am noticing is that there is a little bit of binding. So there is twisting. I wasn't paying attention. It's a very slight amount of twisting. If you look right down the length of the shaft, there's just a slight twist. It's right where that line is. Should have just left it on. I'm just not thinking. You know what's happening is I'm listening to the music and it's throwing me off because I'm trying to do like a basics video and I'm bombing. Come on, get on there. There we go. So obviously it's not going to go on all the way, so it doesn't even matter. All right, we're back at it. Back again. So just shove that axle right through. Of course, everything that I'm saying. So I'll put that bearing in there. God, what a disaster. Paper towels are your friend, like I always say. And then Daisy's over here now getting jealous. Hi, sweetie. I know. I see you. All right. So obviously, longer pin for the bottom. It goes in from front to back. .5 drives it in. And obviously just the top. Slide in. And then to be honest with this is what's nice about Traxxas, I guess. It's very easy, quick repair. That's taken no time at all. So obviously I will save this part. These parts I'm going to throw in the bag just because, never know, might be able to use it for something else at some point. I do have to get myself a Traxxas bin. I got a bunch of bins, but I don't have one labeled Traxxas. I got a lot of ARRMA bins. And that's not saying that ARRMA's a problem. That's just, I seem to have more Hobaos and ARRMAs right now than Traxxas. So I do have a Traxxas, this thing, which is my wife's. The UDR. Obviously, I've got, you know, the T-Max, E-Max, Revo, or E-Revo, and, what did I say, UDR, X-Max, I don't know, some other stuff. I don't even know. No slashes, none of that stuff. Yeah. Everything still feels great. This truck is great. It really is. All right, so that pin, needed that pin. There was a long one and a short one. All I have to do is just match it up. So that's not the right one, or is it? Yeah, I think that's the right one. So obviously the short one's not going to work. See, try to throw the short pin in there, you'll you could end up twisting out the actual hex, stripping it out. Find the hole, which is right there. Now the only thing about this, right, is it is pretty important to make sure that this hex is all the way on to that pin. So, and I think right there is probably it. And once I put on the wheel and I start to crank down the actual wheel nut, that's going to suck that hex onto that pin. So go ahead and toss that on there. Don't forget your little adapter because it's not going to work otherwise. 8mm. Spin that on. And then just kind of pay attention to how it's going on. I'm going to turn this to the side here just so I can get a visual right inside of there. Make sure it's going on. Yep, I can see it. So the pin just went into the hex. This stuff right here, I'd actually recommend getting this. I'm liking this stuff so far. See this stuff right here? This is obviously my Losi banner that was up on my wall. I got another one coming. But this stuff right here is, I think it's called, it's like a runner. It's like a plastic runner, which is absolutely perfect for working on your stuff. Alright, so I'm going to check other sides. This one was actually a little loose. That's better. So something I had noticed, which I'll probably check. I'll check that out. Look at this. Check that out. Do you see that? Look at that. That's terrible. God. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I've touched on this before, that these lock nuts, they're not a permanent thing, but once they become non-permanent, what I'll do is I'll throw thread lock on them, and then just, you know, it should be fine. But looks like that's all right. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and throw this on. I'm gonna get some thread lock, put a drop of thread lock on there, and then spin this lock, lock nut, whatever the heck you want to call it, nylock back on. If I can even find the thread lock. Oh my god. Where's my thread lock? It's a giant bottle of thread lock and I can't even find it. Killing me here. What the heck? It's a giant bottle. I'm just gonna give up. That's it. RC Guy Garage is closing shop. Because he can't find his thread lock. What the hell? Oh my god. I'm gonna have to just order some more thread lock. Oh, what the heck, man? Are you serious? No thread lock. Where did I use it last? What the hell? Well, never mind. I guess I'm not gonna be throwing stinking thread lock on there. It's a giant bottle of thread lock. You know what's funny is people ask me when they saw my bottle of thread lock, they're like, "Guy, oh god, I just found it." Did I? No, I didn't. They were basically asking me, "Guy, why did you get such a huge bottle of thread lock? Do you really need that much?" And I was like, "Yeah. Plus, it's easy to find." But I guess not today. All right, well, whatever. Never mind. We won't be using thread lock. I'm just gonna have to just use this wheel nut and hope it stays on. If I find the thread lock, obviously I'll toss it. I'll throw some thread lock on there, but for some strange reason, I have no idea where my thread lock is. Give it a crank. Alright. Check this side. This was loose too. Holy smokes. Alright, we're good. All four wheels are tightened up. What the heck? Alright, flip it over. What I wanted to just check out was, I was thinking, I'm wondering if something's cracked maybe, because this is actually pulling away. So I think I'm going to pop off this cover and just see, by popping out these 4 screws, and just see if I can see anything that's going on in there. I need my driver. That's it. I gotta get like 2 and 3 of everything. This is ridiculous. Man, I think I can get like 2 bottles of thread lock this time. So this is no part of the axle part, but I want to see what's going on here. I want to see why this is kind of buckled up. And it looks like I can see dirt or something in there. I'm going to take off now that one center screw right there, which will allow the bumper to pop off. So there's definitely some mud happening in there. And a little dot of rust. Just look at that. Big chunk of mud and grease, I think. A disaster. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to look here, see if there was issues, but it doesn't really look like there's any issues. Just dirt packed in. Everything else seems fine. Yeah, it might have been just a phantom kind of thing. ultimately this MAXX, it is a fun truck. It's a very resilient little animal. And I hate to say it, I mean, between this, if it was the choice between this and a hoss, I think I would actually spend like a couple extra bucks and get my kid this versus the hoss. But that's just my opinion. I'm not a kid, so who knows, maybe a kid would want something different. So it's probably going to be easier. Let's put that in and put that in. Don't forget your top screw. And I'm just going to give these screws just a little bit of a tweak. Just because it is plastic stuff here. Yeah, look at this, was loose. Ooh, loose or stripped. You know what? That's stripped. Maybe that's what's going on. Yeah, both sides are stripped. Interesting. So both sides of this little piece right here are stripped. These two screws. That must be from impacts. Maybe that's why I'm getting an odd separation right here. I don't think anything's broken, but I'm just going to keep running it. Well, my wife will keep running it, and then we'll see what happens. So, yeah, that's it. So like I always say, if you like episodes like this from Rusty Guy Garage, this is just the basics, working on a Traxxas MAXX. Just threw in a brand new axle, part number 8950 from Traxxas. I think it's like 15 bucks, 12 bucks, somewhere around there. I definitely would recommend go ahead and just getting this one right here because, I mean, it was the inner on the other crash from like the springtime or summer. So it was the inner after hitting several trees that let go on this. Now that I've actually used this part, so now it's actually time to order 2 more sets just to make sure I've got like what I need. So like I always say, just point blank, get out there and rip it.